Hey, welcome to Morning Jams on the Porch with Stephen Leake. It's Monday, September 22nd, 2025. It's a beautiful day out here. I'm coming to you with no shirt, just for a specific reason, and that's one of it is to be an extra big redneck today. Okay? The end of it is to make a point about my generation. Any kid that was around 15 during 9/11 is going to have some kind of like patriotic tattoo like this, something like this, especially if he's a kid from the South or Midwest, and he would probably he'd be the demographic most likely to go fight in Iraq or Afghanistan. And that specific demographic would have been fighting in that kind of space continuously for 25 years. And I'm going to speak today on Israel. I know it's a sensitive thing, but so before I say anything, I'm going to say something. I'm going to speak on their worldview, their religion, and their political reality that they face, the problems they deal with, why they would do this, why they would think this way, why this would be a normal reaction. This would be something that would be expected of Israel to do, giving their talents and their specific strengths that they had to work with in the situations they face. When you were talking about political outcomes and wars and things like that, this is a macro trend, and this is a convergence of macro trends. This is not a group of people randomly being evil. And the entire reason I'm coming to you on this specific piece of land from the deep south is because my ancestor 300 years ago was used as a human shield to protect rich Charlestonians from natives and a specific specific native tribes they were at war with. So my ancestor was used as a human shield to be right here to fight against natives. This is something that has been done since antiquity. Like, okay, you'd have families that existed for no other purpose but to be sort of some military function, or to be the people that thought about this or this or this, and they would be they'd be placed here for a specific reason. Like, nothing is done randomly, and it can be the most granular minutia. It's going to have a specific reason for it being that way. Israel is not just allowing the world to hate it. It's not like it's just doing everything it can possibly do to be the most hated and disgusting, blah blah blah. There's going to be a specific reason they're doing that. It is related to their tactics. How they fight is related to their worldview. It would be taking advantage of their unique strengths. It's not all that crazy for them to be doing this. It's how they fight. It's how they've been known to fight, and they exist in the context of a greater conflict. They're one small specific group of people. It's a unique history, so it can be done. So it's connected to England. So they would exist in Palestine because 100 years ago, while Britain was engaged in empire in that corner of the Middle East, they used certain people to be what like my ancestor was for the rich Charlestonians here in the U.S. That those Israelis would be there as kind of a paramilitary force, an expeditionary force for the British, because they had their own affiliations. They go back centuries. When I talk about, all of us exist within greater macro trends and stuff like that. It is beyond our control that we're born in the middle of. And we pop out in the middle of this going around us. Until you make a point to study the things going into the context with which you are born, and the greater realities of what's going on around you, it's going to seem like chaos and it's not going to make any sense. And then on top of that, There are people intentionally putting in shit to make it even more confusing. And there are people that, like, there's a reason that it's almost unique to America to have so many autistic people. Autistic people can do unique types of problem solving. This would be a specific outcome that is wanted to happen. Is being done on purpose to generate a population of autistic people in order for them to serve some function. That's how the shit works. That's how it's always been throughout human civilization. You know, the elite will do that, and they're not going to tell you about it. They're not going to tell you, hey, would you like to do this? They're just going to do it. They're going to force it upon you. One of the greatest tactics used by the ancient Chinese was to mass in front of a body of water, in front of an oncoming enemy, so that their soldiers would have no choice but to either drown or fight to the death. And that would be a very effective and brilliant strategy for that period of time. That's the savage fucking nature of conflict between states. It's been an ongoing thing for all of humanity. You know, and like there have been plenty of good people who end up in mass graves for no fault of their own, and there was nothing that they could have done to not end up in a mass grave. So I mean, that's kind of the tragedy of humanity. You know, and the sooner that we can get to a point where we don't have to where life is not just constant shit like this, it slowly gets better over time. And today in the United States, you don't have to be a part of that if you don't voluntarily choose to. Is a step in the right direction. But it's always going to be one step forward, 2 steps back. It's going to be an ongoing struggle to keep what you just got. Somebody's going to always be trying to take what you have. It's going to always be savage and brutal to a point, but it's also going to be beautiful and worth every second. So, and that's kind of the unique thing about human beings, and you know, the history of this kind of stuff is just mind blowing. It speaks to so much like heroism of just ordinary people just trying to get by. I could almost pick any random human being. I could write you like the most heartbreaking epic just by capturing that person's story effectively. And this would be true of almost anybody on the street, just walking off the street. Human beings are so unique and like have so much potential. That's why so much effort is being put in. That's why they get killed. That's why they get manipulated. That's why people poison them. That's why the shit constantly ongoing to do something to them. We have so much potential. We have so much within us that is sacred and holy. And through like just a little bit of self-improvement and meditation, we can kind of reach into that and create and write and build things that would blow your mind. That's why I would never understand this dark kind of viewing of humanity and what humanity is, where it's kind of a nihilistic kind of sprint to nothingness. All you have to do is go be around a baby for 2 seconds, and I dare you to try to like not think humanity's the best thing in the world. Don't be so afraid. There's nothing that a human being can do to you that is that terrible. Okay? And it's very unlikely that you're going to have to experience some kind of terrible thing. More than not, it's going to be all in your head. It's going to be kind of stressful for you, but it's not going to actually happen. There's not going to be monsters in the sky tomorrow. There's lots of people, and there's lots of people who would do everything they could to prevent that. And there's a huge financial incentive to keep things running smoothly. So corporations can generate income, so people can make money, so that rich people can have nice things. There's no real reason to disrupt and kill a bunch of people. There's an ongoing debate about the need to to restore the Smith-Mundt Act, which is a prohibition on government propaganda being disseminated on the public to American citizens. It's probably the most direct threat that the American people face. It's just propaganda from its own government, in which you get this kind of political polarization that makes everything dangerous and untenable. All we have to do, make a point to get that restored, and that will no longer be a problem that we deal with. Shit's going to go back to normal. You wouldn't see all this crazy shit, these shootings and all this kind of shit. Because most of it is tied to like state stuff, state fuckery. It is based in it's kind of propaganda to scare the public. And our current Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, is single-handedly preventing the American people from finding relief or recourse from this propaganda by blocking the restoration of the Smith-Mundt Act. As on his ass, as on top of his head. But he's standing in the way of a hurt American public, of an in pain American public, is desperate to find relief. If he stays there too damn long, he's going to get run the fuck over by Americans screaming to get relief from it. And I will not feel bad for that man when something happens. Because he was standing in the way, he was standing in between somebody in pain and getting relief. You know, I don't go and I don't put my fingers into a dog's mouth and then like scare that dog. I don't tempt fate and I don't do stupid shit. That's what Mike Johnson is doing in the most idiotic way you could possibly do something. Anyway, we can play a song. Before I do, I've gotten I'm currently building my own social media platform. It has completely new features. It's going to be a fully social media platform. It's not going to spy on you at all. It's going to be completely privacy oriented, encrypted chat and encrypted messaging. You're going to be able to upload, do all the things of a normal social media. It's going to have no backdoors, nothing that you could hack into. It has a consensus voting mechanism for decentralized autonomous organizations based on smart contracts. And you would be able to use this platform and this app to run an organization of any type, a business of any type, through the bylaws and algorithms you use that were programmed through smart contracts with a language by a language that would entrench and hardwire constitutional principles within the codes that it was written by. And you would have like a mechanism that would enforce individual sovereignty, free market principles, free speech protections, things like that, into the way that application and those contracts were set up. And I just got the idea through talking to not a girlfriend, but a friend who's a girl of mine, complaining about dating apps. I'm like, you know what? These dating apps are very much set up to hook you on constant short-term dating, to place enormous value on short-term mating strategies. I'm specifically writing a dating app that's going to actually be good for millennials. I'm tired of my generation getting manipulated by these fucking companies. So if no one else is going to do it, my company is going to start building good apps that do not manipulate or hurt the people that use them, and take advantage and exploit them to use them more. Okay, I'm actually gonna help people do what the fuck they're trying to do by using that app. There's a sane way to do business. It's crazy that I have to be the one to do all of it. I don't mind. I'm happy to do it. All right, I'm adding this dating app feature in with the social media platform. So in this platform will be including a cryptocurrency wallet, cryptocurrency transaction and exchange. It'd be a method like PayPal inside of a wallet, in which you could like have an app through which you exchange dollars to any kind of cryptocurrency. It would be its own exchange. This is an incredibly complicated thing. It takes a shit ton of coding, but that's what I'm working on right now. I would kind of prefer to just go be playing guitar and learning blues. This is also fun stuff that it helps. If you can just be patient, not be driven too crazy about the world and these shitty businesses that are exploiting people. I'm coming with like technology that's better. It's better for you. It's going to be what you would want to pay, that you would pay for to find somebody, find a partner, find a long-term partner. And it would be set up in the algorithm would be set up in a way to help you actually find that. It's not trying to hurt you. It's not secretly trying to steal all your shit as it hurts you. Okay? I don't know. It's crazy. It's like that. I'm going to write a decent algorithm. It's not going to intentionally fuck with you. And I'm going to make a shit ton of money doing it. Okay? Because nobody else is doing that. It's a new thing. People are doing it, but it's only recent. And it's one of the things I'm working on. I'm also working on a internet TV channel that would be a network where you'd watch all kinds of new shows that would be libertarian focused and of like completely new original content. But see, I need to have people that want to make new shows that will be interested in developing their own stuff. And then I can give people airtime, and I can give them all this whatever amount of time they wanted to have that show and air it on my network. But I can't like also then I can't code the app and code the infrastructure of a network and then also do the content of that network and be an actor in that show. You know what I mean? I can't do all of it. I mean, that's kind of what my stuff is based on. I can't actually do every single bit of it. I would like to have people helping me. I like to have investors, and I can do so much. The best thing you could do to help me right now is just spread my videos, subscribe. I have to have at least 50 subscribers on YouTube before I can do live streaming. And once I get 50 subscribers, I'm then going to live stream and do more content. It will be a self-fulfilling prophecy that builds upon itself. But I have to have people sharing my stuff, liking my stuff, and buying my products. And we can do all kinds of stuff. We can do whatever we wanted. We'd be developing whatever tech was good for us. We'd have the means to, if there was a problem we were dealing with, we could just go and fix that problem. We would have a company that was actually doing shit like that. I do have that, but it's kind of only me and very few other people. And I have recently met other people doing things similar to me that are forward-thinking, developing new tech, and kind of trying to salvage Western civilization through innovation. I'm not alone doing that, and I have found other people I'm networking with that are also doing it. But we also need people to spread our work, to spread our ideas, to all that good stuff. And I would very much encourage you from doing what you can. First, get yourself where you're not working all the time. Have enough time to think and to figure out what you want to do with your life. Figure out what you're good at, the way you can make money helping other people. And then you can buy some $20 AI and play with it long enough, and you can figure out a way to have your own business, and through just a small amount of investment, you could be generating supplemental income after about a year or two. You wouldn't have to work so much. You wouldn't be so desperate and dependent on a job for your money. Anyway, it's time to play guitar. Enough of that talk. Well, I haven't even talked about Israel. Okay. Back to the tactics of ancient China. Okay. Like, you'd almost have to always, before, especially in things like antiquity, we was just like formal formations of humans, like out in the field. You have to force physical conditions that would compel people to like fight a certain way. It's like it's barbaric shit. We're nowhere close to being in that reality as in 2025. It's a very good thing. Today, most fighting is done to win the hearts and minds, to influence people politically, get them to buy things. Most of our world is set up to be trade, money, commerce. Things like drugs and social media are going to be what's used to control that. And media, entertainment, music are going to be the means in which people are manipulated or made to feel certain emotions, which would then trigger their behavior. And all it's done together in a sophisticated manner for certain outcomes. And that's all it is, and that's all it ever has been. It's just through more sophisticated means of controlling behavior, to getting certain specific things you want out of society that are good for the people that own that society. Because we very much own. We have owners in this country right now that basically treat us, as the American people, as livestock. That's the unfortunate reality, and it's how the elites view of their fellow man. And just because you and I, as regular people, don't go around hurting people, we don't think about power and shit all the time, that doesn't mean that other people don't do that other people aren't evil, and that there are people out there trying to hurt you. We've long since coexisted with kind of spiritual realities, spiritual entities. Every culture on the planet has long since had stories, myths about these kind of entities, about gods, and about the interaction and what human existence was. It's not that big of a leap, because our most current sophisticated science is kind of delving into spirituality, into spiritual truth, and kind of the non-physical reality of a specific kind of spiritual phenomenon. These are real things. It's a real measurable phenomenon that you can. And I've done a podcast on something similar about random number generators in 9/11, and how there was a very statistically significant correlation between levels of random number generators spitting out more coherent patterns in a statistically relevant way around and during 9/11. What that would mean is there was a separate kind of global consciousness happening that was sensitive to human emotion. You could say that would be proof of a soul, or that would be proof of some kind of like spiritual reality that was happening around us. And that what quantum physics was at its core is it was describing spiritual things and spiritual phenomenon through a mathematical lens. Sometimes I think about like what this world is, what this reality is. It's kind of like a wargaming scenario thing, in which like beings more powerful than us can see how can work out stuff. It's like entertaining through like making us act out certain things, certain realities, plugging in certain variables. It's like a video game for aliens, basically. You know what I mean? Because I've often thought about how we seem to only exist really in the same way that a fictional character would exist as a consumer was reading about him. You know, and that's kind of what we are finding with the quantum physics right now. That reality kind of is our reality is dependent upon being observed. Not just that. Is that it is also dependent on how it's observed by how it is interacted with spiritual things, spiritual phenomena. It's very cool stuff, man. It's really interesting. It's a terrible tragedy to me that people are too busy working a job to have the time to go read about the amazing cool shit that's all around us. I'm gonna start ranting so much, but I've been on a kind of a roll here talking about some good stuff. So if you're taking the time, you're interested in things that I have to say, you kind of come to me specifically to hear about that kind of stuff. You'd be into like quantum physics. You'd think about shit like that. That's why you'd be here. Here we go. I was trying to talk about Israel, but I kept getting sidetracked. Okay. So I talked a little bit about the ancient Chinese, about their strategy of forcing their soldiers up to a body of water and fighting fiercely to the death. What Israel is doing like that is sane in logic, at least. They're doing everything they can to get the world to hate them. They are establishing taboo, and they are filming it. They're making it as publicly known as possible in order to galvanize internal support, to whip up unity amongst Israelis internally within that society. And they're going to attempt to have kind of a last-ditch, last stand. They're going to spark a direct confrontation that's in line with what we believe as an Armageddon situation. This is a tactic. This is what they're using. This is their religion, and how they're using our beliefs in Christianity as being our dominant thing. We're going to use that to their advantage to kind of fight. We can easily just step to the side and ignore that shit. The worst thing we could possibly do is go run towards them and try to fight Israel right now and give them more attention, give them more, oh my God, Israel this. Okay. They're counting on that. They're counting on you being a decent human being and being absolutely horrified of seeing starving people and then being just massacred. They want that to happen. They're expecting, they are doing everything they can to bet on the fact that you are a decent human with fundamental kind of survival instincts. They're going to manipulate that in a way that is in line with their kind of eschatology, with their end times belief. They're going to use your end times belief, and also the fact that there are weather and climate change things happening to kind of make you think it's just the end of the world today. For some reason, it's all going to happening now, and it's just crazy. We should all give up. It's just everybody's just going to be dead tomorrow. That's the intentional tactic. The worst thing you could do is have is get everybody in Europe to just come after Israel all at once. They are trying to provoke a direct confrontation, because that would get everybody in Israel all whipped up, united. Not a good thing. It's not a good thing for us. The best thing we can do is nothing. We just ignore that shit. Okay, the Palestinian people, they're now being just killed. There's not much anybody can do short of like an armed intervention. I would love that, and I would love to see Marines on the ground in Gaza tomorrow. It's not going to happen. Those people are fucked. I'm sorry. There's not anything you or I are going to do to prevent those people from being killed. What we can do is prevent more people outside of that from being killed by taking as much sting out of it that makes Israel like big bad Satanists. Explain in a logical manner what they're doing, why they're doing it, It's going to take the sting out of it. It's going to take the ontological shock of what they're doing out. And you explain it clinically and say all we have to do as a society is dealing with that is to step aside. Okay, we just make it go into the next generation, in which our boomers die out. Israel's going to lose complete support, and they won't have the money, the weapons in the future with which to fight. They will not have the political will here in America to do anything like that. All we have to do is not get tricked into go fighting another war. We don't do anything. We come home, we relax, for God's sakes. First of all, my generation needs to chill the fuck out and have some babies. And then, after maybe a couple years of chilling out and relaxing, then you start rebuilding the institutions domestically. You go back to church. You become a leader in your community, wherever that is. You have babies. You raise your kids to value tradition, to be, I don't want to say conservative. I'm not necessarily a partisan person. That is a better choice than kind of the communism that we've allowed to just go nuts. We need to hard pivot back to our traditional way, to our traditional ways of life, to valuing American exceptionalism, to what makes us good, and go back to a winning strategy and a winning recipe. Limited government, fiscal conservatism. We can be socially liberal to a point, but you cannot tolerate just open degeneracy. Okay, and then you educate the next generation to be aware of these tactics, to openly know how to kind of avoid them and how to de-escalate these crises. Like I said, rebuild your institutions. You're going to have to do that from the ground up. We're going to have to just blow everything up, start from scratch. It's all been kind of infiltrated. It's all poison. It's got to go anyway. We can use it as a chance to start over fresh. Get back into your community. Get back in your church. Let's go out in public in nice clothes again. Stop going to Walmart in your pajamas. We need to have a reimagining of what public life is. Complete new renaissance of valuing each other, of civic engagement, of stopping the shit of mindless consumption, of hero worshiping people that aren't doing anything special to begin with, just because they wear weird clothes and have lots of money. Shit like that. I mean, there's basic shit we can do with our culture. We can fix our damn culture so it's not poisonous shit. We raise our kids, we love our families. Okay? We do some fundamental housekeeping stuff. We get the sound money, get back to the Constitution. And then by that time, Israel will not have an ounce of support in this country. They won't have the means with which to prosecute any kind of war. And although it would be very sad, the Palestinians got genocided. We stopped them from further hurting anybody. We saved as many Palestinians as we could. That's what we have to do now. First of all, you need to relax. Stop fighting each other. You couldn't force me to be mean to another American. I'll be as sweet as possible. I'll go out of my way to be a sweet, nice guy. I'm like today. I've just been like, hey man, I love you to death. You're awesome, and I think you should keep doing what you're doing. We have to shoot rainbows out of our eyeballs at each other. Your countrymen have been through enough. You don't need to fight any more war. You don't need to have any more crazy shit happening. This is One Fine Day. This was written for my ex-girlfriend. She's a Gold Star widow whose Marine was killed in 2009 in Afghanistan, and it's for her. We were only dating for a little while. She got diagnosed with cancer. It's always some tragic shit like that with with somebody who's like constitutionally incapable of doing anything but being altruistic and serving other people. You cannot have a functioning civilization without people like her. It's more important that we honor those people than we are scared of the bad people. They are more good than other people are bad. One fine day. This song, smile, you know I love you. I'll be out there doing my thing. I'll come back for you one day. I know it hurts. Try to laugh through it. It'll all work out. Won't be all for nothing. We found each other after all these years. So heal and be happy. I'll see you again one day. Hear this song. Smile. I know I love you. Be out there doing my thing. I'll see you again one day. I botched the shit out of that one. I usually do that pretty good, but bad thing. Ah, damn. It's awful, man. Shit. I'm too flustered right now. Such as live music, I guess, but damn. I'll do that again in a second. The whole point of videos like this is for me to get to a place where I do these songs over so much that I can just knock it out without even thinking. Until I get to that point, this is going to be me practicing, basically. This is me practicing my guitar and then talking about politics as I do so. It's not so much meant as like a fancy production as it is like me practicing my guitar so I can go play live. I'm not so concerned about making mistakes in this specific kind of medium. That's why it's here. I'll come back to that song in a second. I picked up this like random sticker in downtown Rock Hill outside the 12-step place. Is something about a local band. I'm not all that familiar with Rock Hill's like music scene. It's pretty. It would be at the very precipice of having one to begin with for Rock Hill. It's a very small city. So I'm going to look into these guys. It says One Below Joy. It looks cool. I hope I can hang out with these people. If you know anything about that, hit me up on my social media stuff. Once Below Joy. I definitely want to hang out with these people. I've always wanted to be part of a music scene in this area. We haven't had the infrastructure to have that for a while. We're just now getting it to where we can. we have some guys in Clover who do stuff around Lake Wiley. I'm going to promote right now. They do kind of like karaoke. They do a little bit of original stuff. It's kind of the first kind of push into a music scene that we have. York itself is growing. My hometown, where I'm doing this from, is like experiencing kind of exponential growth. And we will have a music scene at some point. I hope to be a part of it. It's fun. I'm trying to look at this guy's social media because I'm blanking on his name actually, because he doesn't really talk to me that much. But I really like the guy. There's not all that many people in this particular town that do that. J.C. Riley. He's a local musician from Clover. He does like country covers, stuff like that, acoustic stuff, and like bars, restaurants, stuff like that around town. I think it's great. I love it. I reached out to him. Like I think he does a few kind of originals. I don't have like a big giant fancy setup here. I have enough to do like a demo. So if he wants to do like put out a demo, I can put it on Spotify. It can be on streaming and shit. I wouldn't charge him a penny. I would do that for any guy in my hometown scene that was patriotic guy, because I want that shit to be popular. I'm like actively invested in my hometown stuff. So like, you know, if you can talk him into doing that, I would love that. Dude, come record your shit here, okay? If you can't get it anywhere else, you at least have me to do. Oh, you can do that here. You don't have to pay me anything. It just involves, you can do it yourself, and I'll teach you how to do it. You just need a audio interface, like some free software like Reaper, to record a guitar, like a mic. You get it for $150 at Walmart. Then you can go to DistroKid, or one of the music distribution programs that you get online. They would distribute your shit on the streaming for a basic kind of cheap subscription. You could do all of that for a minimal investment. If you don't want to do that, you can just come to me and do it here at my house. I'll do all that for you. You wouldn't have to, but if you wanted, I could put you out as my own label. I could do streaming stuff. That's true of any musician, is any guy. Like if you even are remotely good, just hit me up. I'll see what I can do. We can maybe collaborate. But we can build our own labels and put out our own music. Just come collaborate with me. It was not gonna make you rich overnight. You're not making any kind of money on it for a while. But you could get like all the like free press you could want from Spotify. You would get like active listeners. You could be starting to build an audience. Be on your way to a place where you could make money in the future. That'd be the first step of that. If you worked hard at it and kept going, after a couple years, you'd have a audience built big enough to where you can make a living as a touring musician. I myself am on pursuing that path. That's actually what I'm more concerned about today in my career. It's like playing guitar, but I don't get to do it as much as I would like. There's so much political shit happening, and I have long since been a political guy and activist. I can't not do that. I would like to do more guitar, such as life. I'm gonna try One Fine Day again. This is my most popular song right now on Spotify. it'll all work out. It won't be all for nothing. We found each other. After all these years. Go heal and be happy. I'll see you again one day. It'll be with you. I'll spend the rest of my life with. And never after. But we get to choose. I didn't come all this way just to lose heart and quit. Keep me going when all seems lost. When you hear this song, smile, you know I love you. I'll be out there just doing my thing. I'll come back for you one day. There we go. Proper ending. So today, talking about ancient Chinese tactics and the modern military strategy of Israel in fighting its fifth generation stuff. You got to see me totally fuck up a song, try to recover, and I'm gonna smoke a cigarette, get my pulse down, and I'm gonna read you a poem. I've got, I haven't really done a lot with my shirts in a while. I have about 25 designs, ranging from okay and shitty to really cool and badass. The most popular thing that I have is Love Kills t-shirt. I wear my own t-shirts, and it's just hilarious. And I had my own Love Kills hoodie. I was walking in the middle of Walmart. Some teenager gawked at me for a long time and went on about how cool it was. I turned him on to my music, gave him the hoodie off my back. It blew his mind. I've never seen a kid that happy in my life. And then now I have a fan for life. And that kid knows that somebody cares about him. That's why I do it. It just cost me $30. I can go order myself a new one. My Porch collection that I've been reading from the most, Life of the Pines. I wrote this in 2022 in the middle of the pandemic. I was dating a woman, Allison, who I'm dedicated this to. We got each other through the pandemic, being adults. And I'm sure that it was a common thing happening. Kingdom of Fear. This is also a song from my album Truth is Power. That is coming out on vinyl Christmas. Kingdom of Fear. Mom, can I borrow the car? I need to get tested. I'm gonna marry this one. This love, like a Mexican standoff, an entity of its own. It sucks the marrow out of my bones, dipping my toe into the black hole. We're locked in time at the event horizon. You wouldn't understand. It's an inside joke, or so we say. I got my 30-day chip last night. I lie. I trip every weekend. We strap on our gas mask and huff Freon. Watching, frozen in horror, as a million rabid granddaddy longlegs swarm out of the ceiling and stare. We see our reflection in infinite soulless eyes. We're refugees of the modern world, our homes blown away by 3 a.m. diet pill commercials and clips from Girls Gone Wild. We set up camp in Mexico, but you can't chug with a lime in your beer, so we drive as fast as we can, 102 down the interstate. White lines blur together, hypnotic, as Freddie Mercury pierces lost octaves, and we start to smell our brains burning, scorched in our kingdom of fear. That's one of my earliest things. I did that probably as a kid, as a teenager. This is another thing I did, at Winthrop. As a part of a writing workshop. Very early thing. Master of the Still Stars and of the Flaming Door. That title comes from another poem. He's been stalking me for 3 days, on the peak of that mortal hill where eternity was born, asphyxiating so as not to stir the squirrels nesting in his ghillie suit, waiting for one false step into the crosshairs to bring me to my knees. I hide out of range of that bullet of destiny, a Cossack embedded in a mat abandoned, where bare skin and bourbon makes beasts of us all. Uncultured, page 22. A static screen sky takes pot shots at our sanity. Tires burn on the horizon. It's only make-believe I know. This construct of words and images, bad noise and bile. Back and forth the blame bounces back, inevitably to your doorstep. Let's play spring. At some point, I'll be in a position where I can work on new material, new music. Right now, today, after this, I'm going to finish the monologue I've been working on forever. I just need some tweaking, and I'll be done with that. Then I'm going to go at the end of this week and record. It's going to be 4.5 to 5 hours. It's 50-something pages. It's massive. And then I'll have that. It'll be a special treat that I'm doing just to be nice, because people have been going out of their way to be nice to me. And then it'll be something I have forever. It is a kind of philosophical musing and exploration of contemporary pop culture of Americana and the concept of the American original. There's would be as explored through my family history. I always say that if William Burroughs can shoot something with a shotgun and then sign it, and that'd be art. It's not crazy to think somebody would be interested and well researched and amount of hard work put into a well researched podcast. And then I'll be able to start writing some new music. I'm going to be focused on blues. That's a lot of fun to play, at least for me personally. A lot of what my Love Kills album was kind of like poetry against electric blues. My most successful stuff is kind of emotionally honest poetry set to electric blues. It's in finding spiritual truth in my lyrics. I know what that is and what I'm good at. I'm going to be doing more of that just with acoustic guitar and more sophisticated techniques of blues. And this could be my next album. But I'm still in the process of putting out for Christmas a vinyl album. There's Truth is Power, Love Kills, a double album. It's going to be a limited edition vinyl run. Like I said, out Christmas. Then I'm also putting out my most recent poetry collection, also by the title Truth is Power. It's its own thing. It's his poetry collection. It's my best work up to date. Okay. And then I'm also still developing an app. It's a social media app. I'm also developing a internet TV channel. I'm doing that stuff too. I'm ongoing working on a podcast, putting stuff out on that every week. And I still have not necessarily finished my novel. I have so much stuff going on. It's a blast. I'm having so much fun doing it. I'm gonna play Spring now. I'm gonna keep playing these like same 4 songs so I can just off the top of my head perform it flawlessly. And I'll get to a point where I can start playing live. And then that'll be the most fun thing in the world. I can start developing my own stagecraft stuff and shit like that. It's gonna be a blast. I'll write my own damn manual for it. Spring is here. Dogs playing in the yard. Talking to my dad on the porch. Some hummingbirds buzz the feeder. Spring is here. My mom calls from the kitchen. My sister is coming with a new baby. From Charleston. Spring is here. Kids playing baseball at dusk. We still have so much to look forward to. New beginnings, new life. I thank God we're alive to see it. Spring is here. My cousin is cutting grass. We exist to hold each other up. Endless cycles of growth. Spring is here. Dogs playing in the yard. Talking with my dad on the porch. Is here. My mom called from the kitchen. My sister is coming with a new baby. On the road from Charleston. Spring is here. Kids play baseball at dusk. We still have so much to look forward to. Beginnings of life. Thank God we're alive to see it. Spring is here. That's for my niece Daphne. I wrote that specifically for her. Maybe next episode I won't have to gross you out with a new t-shirt. I just want to make a point. My generation loves tattoos. Even if that was kind of like a stupid thing, didn't last very long. But there's something that we have, we own that. It's our thing. It's kind of the nature of living through a period together with other people. Being in a specific place at a specific time, and why that means a lot to people. That's how you forge bonds, how you create memories. I'll never not want a tattoo. I will never regret having any of these. Most of these have specific ties to specific people, and some of those people are not even alive anymore. You couldn't make me not have these tattoos. Lots of people, lots of drug addicts get tattoos so we can remember people they care about who didn't make it this far. That's something lots of people, millions of Americans deal with that. That's their reality. And, the entire East Coast establishment was founded on opium trade money. You wouldn't have Harvard University without the opium trade. And that's the reality. East Coast people can talk shit about Southerners having slaves, but they did the opium trade. So there you go. No one comes out. No one is innocent in this world. No one's family didn't do that shit, or something even worse, or just like that. It's incredibly asinine to single out a specific person or a specific group that's done one bad thing. Make that all they ever get to talk about. That's silly. Anyway, we're up at an hour. I think I put in a good hour of time to talk about stuff, play some music. I hope you had a good time. I have a blast. My life is better. I get to have fun, enjoy my life. I look forward to making these. It's just as much for me and me having fun getting to do this as it is I want other people to see it. Does it just as much for me, does as much for me as you would get out of it, or you would be learning some new things. If I couldn't do this, I'd probably be doing even crazier drugs or something worse, like being a Democrat. I'm just kidding. We've had enough political shit, enough flinging crap. We're doing something else. I'm doing a new strategy as far as my political activism. I'm going to be positive. I'm going to do uplifting messaging. I'm no longer going to go round and round with Democrats calling each other names, talking shit online. We've done that. We've run it to the ground. People don't like it anymore. Nothing good is going to come of that, doing that anymore. So we're going to change our strategy. We're going to kick it into a high gear of being uplifting, positive, wholesome stuff. We're going to try to inspire people. We're going to try to help people out so they don't feel so sad and depressed that this is our reality. We'll get through it together. We'll be okay. We're not going to antagonize the public even more by making them crazy having to listen to us. Now, I would hope other conservatives get it out of their system. They killed more guys. That's not the end of the world. Shit like that happens in America. We've pitched our fit, flung our crap, and the way we can honor Charlie Kirk is by keeping his message of positive, wholesome stuff, of public discourse, of free speech, of open debate, positive coalition building, things like that. We can work very hard on making sure that we do explicitly, just like I said, positive and uplifting messaging. I'm not going to make it more emphasis. It's just that, just being positive. Focus on the things you can change that are good. Try to be there for your friends. Try to be there for your countrymen during a hard time. Do what you can to help. Don't make things worse. Thanks for hanging out with me. It means the world to me. I'm actually the one that gets the most benefit from people watching this, from doing this, and I love it. I get a lot from it. It helps me out a lot. Thanks. I really appreciate the people that like hearing me talk, who come here specifically to hear it. And when you talk, when you like go out of your way to say, hey, just to say hey on like a website, that's the best thing that's happened to me that day. So keep doing it. I love it. I'll keep making cool stuff. Make sure to like, subscribe, share my stuff, like all that good stuff, and other people can see more. Other people get to see it. We can keep on doing good stuff. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of it. It's been wonderful. Like, this shit is glorious. Okay, so take care. I'll see you later. And take care of yourself. I'm Stephen Leake. And we're gonna win.